Well, it's that time of the year. Starting to rip everything down. We're gonna get all the front suspension out, probably gonna pull the motor. We might keep the bumper on, we'll see, but I got all the body panels off. We got new fiberglass coming. I got new doors back there. We're gonna do some stuff here. We're gonna cut this old firewall out because it's just way too beefy and thick and heavy for what we need. So we'll probably keep this like bottom half to be able to weld and mount things to. And then from like here up will just be really thin, like 16th aluminum. We're gonna get all the wiring redone, hopefully. That's a maybe. I wanna switch all this out. This is all on rocker switches right now. As you can see, these are from over the river and through the woods. These are great switches, but we wanna go to like a S-Pod system. So we could have one panel here, have a mirrored panel basically over here or maybe in the middle, and then do another one that's more co-driver specific that'll have like things that the driver never needs to touch, comms related, maybe fans or something like that, I don't know. Or maybe we just do something that's central that both of us can reach, and then the lockers and stuff like that over here. Gonna get a new bumper piece because the plastics have just been like ruined. A lot of this is just gonna be cleaning things up. Other than down yonder, we are gonna get Spider-Trax hubs and axle shafts to replace these trail gear ones. We already switched over to Spider-Trax brakes. These are the same Wilwood calipers we were running, but we're using Spider-Trax hats and rotors now. So that's awesome. But yeah, once we get those hubs in, that'll be a huge improvement over what we have been running. We also have a whole new shock package coming for the car, and that might also include springs, but new shocks, new bump stops, front and rear from a different company. We'll get more on that later. Same with up here, so that's all gonna get changed out. But we have a lot of things to button up for sure, and a lot of work to do. One of the big things is you can see all this oil. Our lower cross member, basically that has the steering rack mounted on it, just keeps getting bashed. Every time we hit this skid plate, all that weight goes into that cross member. It pushes the steering rack up, and then the steering rack has such tight clearance that it hits our upper oil pan assembly and it cracks it. This is now the second time we've cracked that. So we're gonna cut that mount out for the steering rack and build something that's a lot beefier, probably out of like 1/4 inch. Reinforce all that, and then our diff steering rack is gonna mount to that, and that's also what braces our pivots for our control arms. So that'll be really nice. Get the battery moved to the back, and we wanna do a better mount for this. This was pretty last minute last race, and that's moving around. Probably clean this up, get this mounted somewhere a little better. This runs our Whelen Siren, which is sick. We just got that in. That's a super rad system. That lets us make all kinds of fun noises. It even has an intercom or a PA system, so you can talk to people if you wanted to. The other thing that we may consider doing is getting into a lead nav system. We really like the Lowrance. It works great, but the note-taking aspect is really time-consuming and hard. There's no like fast way to input notes basically when you're pre-running. So we're gonna try and streamline that by going to a lead nav. Maybe we do something with both, but yeah, lots of work ahead of us. We also got to strip the wrap, and the whole car is gonna get a new livery for the 23 season. Trying to think of anything else. I think that's really it. A lot of this stuff is still stuff that we're working on, so we're not gonna talk too much about it. I know another thing we really want to do is do a new skid plate setup. We have something cool coming from Marlin Crawler for the front, but the belly under here we want to really slick up. We want to work in some form of plastic so that it allows it to slide really easily on rocks if we get hung up on anything. And then we'll probably try and take all these edges that are like really sharp and make them all more like smooth. So if we do get into here, you're not hitting a 90-degree edge. It'll kind of bridge over them. Same with our link mounts. We'll smooth these out, probably bring this all the way up to here. So it's just a really smooth ramp if we ever catch anything. So it won't be hanging us up. I mean, you can see how much we get into all that and hit it. So yeah, other than that, some of the stuff's just tedious work. And it just has to get done. New fluids, all that. Go through our diffs, front and rear. Yeah, it's gonna be a project, but we're gonna get it done. So I've made some great progress. Fiberglass is off, hood is off. Got all the doors swapped out. The new doors are gutted, so we can do door cards. Got door handles for once, so we'll be able to mount these and actually have door handles. Seats are out, everything's cleaned. Obviously still needs to get like wiped down, but the majority of the stuff's out. Started working on body work, so this is just some fresh Bondo that went on. This used to be really bad, like you can see how thick it is right here. Kind of get it all straightened out before it gets wrapped again. Taillights are off right now, just cleaning things up. Did a lot of PDR from the backside, so bashed a lot of these dents out. So getting some mostly straight panels. This used to all be walked up. Yeah, it's cleaning up nice. You can see like that kind of stuff will probably stay. I might be able to actually knock that one from the inside. I don't know, but she'll never be perfect, but we can at least make her a little bit better each year, or at least keep her from getting really bad really fast. New fiberglass is on the way. Here's our new upper arms and lower arms for the RCLT kit. Yeah, all the old body panels, spare motor, door, hood. These are all gonna get used for decoration. We're gonna send those to a few people. The old tires, new set of trailer tires from Kenda. Lodestar, if you didn't know, Lodestar is Kenda. So these are Load Range F, 105 PSI max. Those will be sick. So yeah, kind of weird not seeing it yellow right now. Right now I'm just cleaning up the axle, getting all the rust off. This was all like crazy pitted. And I'm straightening out our link mounts. This used to be like super bent. So I cut this down, I added a washer just to add a little bit more width, just so it's really easy to get our links in and out. And then I sandwiched it, and then I also slid a socket in here, and I was able to hammer that back over without bending the whole mount. So that one's straight. Did a little bit of work on this one. This one's really hard though, because I have nothing to keep it from going that way. So I'm gonna do the best I can. You can see I put a lot of heat into it. But yeah, so I'll get a fresh coat of paint, cleaned up. Gotta clean the top still. And then I'll also hit it with sandpaper. This has just been like grinding off the main big chunks. So yeah, making progress. Motor is coming out, so we can get to all that stuff down there that needs some serious help. I mean, you can see how mashed that frame piece is there, that tie in between the two pivots. And it's also our steering rack mount. Everything you can see, if I look across it, it's got a nice bow to it. And I guess I'll have to look from the other side. But the biggest thing, and why we gotta fix it, is that's our upper oil pan assembly. You can see where it's cracked, just resting right on that steering rack. And then our diff clearance is also not too bad, but it's definitely tighter than we want. So we're gonna massage that back down, reinforce it all, and then we're also gonna look into making new motor mounts that raise the motor up just a little bit. We have some room back here. We're not quite into the tunnel all the way, and that trans has a little bit of room too, so raise it all up a little bit. just to make a little more room and a little more, just make it so it has some ability to move and not get into stuff. So yeah, that's all coming out. Rear's out, as you've seen. That axle is almost all painted Ice Agers. So we got to flip it, paint the other side, but fix some cracking that we had on the truss here. Had some cracking here, it cracked like right here, but none of the tube itself was actually cracked. It was only on this, so I don't know if it's just getting a little bit of movement, but we had it crack right here before too. But that's all good now, all fixed. So yeah, making moves. Main reason we were pulling it wasn't even to work on the motor, but good opportunity to look over everything. One thing that we have had happening for some time now is on startup, it makes this weird grinding sound. And if you look here, this is the starter that engages on the flywheel, and this thing has all kinds of play. And when we spun it, there's this boot, and in there you can actually see that some of those ball bearings are actually missing. So yeah, new starter is in order. We'll just go through while we have everything off, clean everything. A lot of this is just power steering that residually drips back. But yeah, we'll check belts, we'll pull a timing cover, check the timing belt, and yeah, go over, make sure there's no cracks or anything on the headers. And yeah, in here though, this is where we have a lot of work. So as you can see, that's all dented in from Nationals when that lower control arm broke. That pivot just kept slamming into there. So gonna flatten that back out, probably plate that in, make it all nice. We're gonna clean all this up. This is all kind of dented up and in, so cut all that out, make it back stronger. We're gonna cut out the bottom of this cross member here and reinforce that and get that all cleaned up. We're also gonna build new motor mounts, just to pick that motor up a little bit higher, and then also get rid of the factory bushing. Fix all this. This is cracked. This isn't even attached anymore. Yeah, racing beats this stuff up, guys. So here you can see that crack in the oil pan. It's actually where oil's all dripping out right now. No, that's a low spot. So yeah, gotta get this whole assembly replaced. That's where the dipstick goes in. This oil pan's still looking good though, so just this upper assembly. It's kind of nice having the car so light, you can just move it with the forklift. Something like that. Making moves, starter's out, new one's on the way. Could also pull one from there, but that one's got high miles on it, so not really wanting to do that. Engine cage fixed on both sides. Reinforcement bar, plated the frame here where we had like our control arm kind of punching into it. Got this replaced. This used to just be angle iron. Now it's beefy 3/16 1.5 by 3-inch tube. And then also have this done, kind of a ramp. And then we're gonna do some plastic underneath to make it nice and slick. So it kind of ramps that control arm. Here's what the inside of that looks like. So 3 triangle plates, nice and stout, and then the bottom skid with holes in it for the plastic to bolt into nut zerts. We're gonna try and do that over the whole skid on all of these. But making moves. We also got that heat shielding in so our feet stop melting to the floor. Bump stops are cut out. Kind of got these straightened back out. Fix some cracking. Yeah, slowly but surely coming along. You kind of see that shape that's going in. This is the Addicted Off-Road bumper cross member reinforcement. So it goes over the factory cross member, comes all the way back. It used to bolt into here, but this has all just been welded in. And then this used to just be factory sheet metal going across, and now it's just upgraded with really thick stuff. So same height that it used to be, but much stronger. Ideally, we'd cut this whole thing out and just get that really smooth and then run a skid down. But the radiator also ends right above this tube, so we need that space. All right, guys, thanks for watching the first episode of Prep. So much work to do, but we're gonna try and keep you guys updated so that you have some cool stuff. Just see what goes into getting these things ready for a race. We have a ton of work ahead of us, but I think we can do it. We got 25 days until we leave, so yeah, it's crunch time. If you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. We're trying to grow this channel and give you guys more content, and the easiest way for us to do that is to get feedback from you guys. Let us know what you want to see. We're putting a lot of effort and time into these and trying to make more content for you guys going into this new year and this new race season. So yeah, thanks again.